Tough guy talk.
What's up, y'all? My name is Brent Webb. I'm a lifelong Louisvillian. Many of you know me. Many others of you do not. Coming at you live from Tom's Bar. And these are a few of my coolest vinyl records. We're going to start out here with the Bliard compilation. Now, this comes to us from Slap-A-Ham Records out in San Francisco, an indie label run by a cat named Chris Dodge. And I believe it's been defunct since 2012. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, during this period, Chris puts out a ton of legendary records. And one of those in the Slap-A-Ham discography is the Bliard comp. This baby boasts an impressive 41 bands and 64 songs. Everything on this record goes by like a blur. And there's some serious names from the underground that you may or may not recognize. Neanderthal, which is Eric Wood from Man is the Bastard. Hell Nation, Nuclear Roach, Extreme Noise Terror, AC. Jesus Crust, Atrocity, Exit 13, AC. Skeletal Earth is on here, Agathocles is on here, Impetigo's on here, AC. A who's who of the early underground 90s metal scene. Anything ranging under the umbrella of hardcore, punk, power violence, noise, metal, thrash, this label covered in some way, shape, or form. So, beautiful stuff. All right. Up next, I picked this up just the other day at Better Days. We've got the complete edition of Carcass's 2013 Surgical Steel. Great album. The album we never thought we'd get, like the Carcass Revival, the one that nobody saw coming. This record actually cracked the Billboard charts, and that just tells you how much people wanted it. This is the Surgical Remission EP, which came out separate from the Surgical Steel, but the complete edition has everything on it. It's a beaut. It sounds fantastic. Nuclear Blast put this out, and for death metal fans, Carcass, accept no substitutes. Next, we got the Monstrosity, Burden of Evil 7-inch. This is a bit of a sneak peek behind the curtain for what would come later in a full-length album they would put out on Relapse titled Imperial Doom. For all you Cannibal Corpse fans out there, this is George Fisher, right here, the original Corpse Grinder. As you can see, he's credited as such on the back, so he's always been called Corpse Grinder. Yeah, if you want to hear a little bit of a prelude as to what would go on later in Cannibal Corpse, this record will give you that clue. Also, just want to drop a shout out to Relapse. They were huge and very influential in the early underground scene and put out a lot of great records. The Relapse Records label out of Millersville, Pennsylvania is responsible for a lot of great stuff. So, if you don't know about Relapse, you probably don't listen to metal at all. next, you got the Tribes of Neurot double 7-inch Re-Begin. This came out on Alley Sweeper Records sometime around 95. About this time in history, Neurosis was absolutely on fire and touring their asses off. They were all over the place. And the Tribes of Neurot project, the official first release is this one. The second one, the more well-known one, is Silver Blood Transmission. That comes out on the Relapse release label not long after this. But this is a really neat prelude to that. And what you get here is 4 sides: earth, air, water, and fire. One side of each record for each symbol. And on this, you can hear a lot of the Neurosis crazy, like sample-laden madness, and the pummeling drums, and the repetitive riffs that would segue us right into this, right into the Through Silver and Blood record, which is, in my opinion, their best work. Now, everybody's got their thoughts on the favorite Neurosis record that they have. Some folks love Times of Grace. People do adore the early stuff, Souls at Zero and Enemy of the Sun. But for me, this is the crusher. This came out in 96, and the world was not ready for this record. This is the absolute, soundtrack to your nightmares. Neurosis is what you make it. Each individual listener derives something different from it. And I found that to often be the case. But there's some absolute crushers on here. Of course, Locust Star. Everyone's familiar with that Ozfest video that you can dredge up on YouTube. Eon and Enclosure and Flame are on here. Through Silver and Blood. Of course, Strength of Fates. All heavy hitters. Not one bad song on this record. Just gets progressively more and more punishing and disturbing as it goes, and mercifully, meets its end. People. Next up, we got a little bit of a seasonal selection for you. All right, it's hot out there, sun's out, guns out. So with that, I give you Stripper Christmas Summer Weekend by the almighty Gwar. Now, these guys got a catalog as deep and wide as the Grand Canyon, and I love them. I love any iteration of this band. I'm so glad they're still around and doing what they do. These dudes are fantastic in every way. This came out in 2009, so think Lust in Space era. Corey Smoot's on this one. And just a good, feel-good summer song. And by the way, I'm known by another name, and that name is 2987. That's my Gwar slave number. And I have officially pledged life, soul, and offspring to the mighty Gwar, as you can see here by the appropriate documents. All right, y'all. Up next, we got Donny Osmond. And we're back. Next record, Dystopia, Human Equals Garbage on the legendary Life is Abuse label. Back in the early 90s, man, there was what you might call a groundswell with the Southern California, like metal, punk, crust scene. And by that I mean there was a whole bunch of bands on fire in one particular geographical area, and all active at the same time, all co-promoting shows, trading artwork, trading band members, just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. A genuine scene, a collaboration. And that's a beautiful thing. It's something you rarely see in music. You saw it in, Seattle in the early 90s. Of course, you got the Bay Area. Always been a hotbed. But, around, the early 90s, Southern California had its own, brand of grind and crust. And Dystopia, in my mind, is the top band out of that bunch of acts. That's debatable, of course. Phobia's in there, Confrontation's in there, Death Shit, and a whole bunch of others. I'm probably missing a few of those, but Dystopia had this very bleak and twisted worldview, crazy, insane, psychotic vocals, just punishing, anti-human message going on there, and just really difficult record to listen to, scathing, uncomfortable at times. Just a gentle reminder for you kids, get out there and support your local record store. They are, in fact, a dying art. And go out and spend money and buy things, because it's the American way. Get your happy ass out to Better Days Records. Ben's got the Broadway store still open, and they've got the Barrett Avenue location. Go out there and see Athena. Matt Anthony's place. You got Guest Room Records over there on Frankfort Avenue. Wonderful record shop. They will not let you stay there. Check out the flea markets. Check out the dirt malls. Look for any place that has a dusty old box of LPs, because there could, in fact, be some gold in there. Do your homework, people. And just want to go out here on the outro and tell you that there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of loose talk, a lot of water cooler talk, speculation, innuendo about me and Bondage Grandpa, in fact, being the same person. I'm here to tell you, people, this is, in fact, complete and utter crap. As you can clearly see here, me and Bondage Grandpa are not the same people, so don't judge me by his standards, and for God's sake, don't judge this pathetic old man by mine. Say hello, Grandpa, to the people. God, I hate you, old man. It ruins it when you talk.